Hello Year 2, Mr. Allen here, and we're going to be doing some computing today. We're going to be looking at the importance of privacy and security online. So our steps to success are explaining what passwords are and using passwords for our own accounts on devices, describing how online information about us can be seen by other people, and describing and explaining some rules for keeping our information private. So today's lesson is all about keeping safe on the internet and thinking about what we should share online and what we would not share online. And we're also going to pick up some top tips on how to keep information locked away and secret by using passwords and what a good password looks like. So I'm going to show you a video now, and this video is about children discussing what makes a good password, and we've also got some handy information from an internet expert who's going to give us some top tips on how to create a strong password. So have a look at the video, see what you think, and we're going to use these ideas that we find to answer the questions on our sheet. Take a look.
It's important when you're using a tablet or another device like a laptop that you stay safe and protect any information that you might have using a password.
If you have something important on your iPad and you don't want anyone to see, you need a password so that no one gets in and sees those private stuff.
We don't share our passcodes, keep it private. Nobody will be able to take all the stuff that you have on there and all your information.
A password is a combination of numbers, letters and symbols that you keep secret.
Passwords can be they don't have to be always numbers. They can be letters, or they can even be a square of dots.
A strong password is something that's difficult to guess and doesn't include your name or your address.
So I just remember it in my head.
I just remember mine in my head.
What makes a good password?
A good password is when, say,
keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret, and so then no one can go in.
Okay, so some interesting information we could use there. So all passwords are things like keys, which we use to keep things safe, lock secret information away. So take a look at question 1. It says, you can share your password with other people, true or false? So I'd like you to think, would you share your password which you use to protect your information? Would you share that with other people, even people that you might know really well? What I'd like you to do is have a think about that. Pause the video, and then once you've answered the question on your sheet, hit play. Hopefully you ticked false. So false, because we don't share our password with other people, because then that means that people can access our private information, which we don't want. Question 2. Good passwords have letters, numbers, your name, and symbols. I'll give you a clue. There's more than one answer for this, so hit pause and hit play once you're ready, and we can discuss the answers. Okay, hopefully letters you will have ticked, because all good passwords need letters, but they also need numbers as well, because that helps to make it even more secure. But if you include your name in the password, that makes it a lot easier to guess, so we shouldn't include our name. But we could also include symbols like exclamation marks or question marks to make our password even more secure. So I've ticked letters, numbers, symbols, and hopefully you guys will have done the same. So we're going to move on to question 3 now. And question 3 says, I have thought of 3 different passwords. Tick the one that you think is the strongest. I'd like you to choose the password that you think is the strongest, and then tick it, and underneath, write in the box why you chose that particular password. Think about what makes a strong password, like we looked at question 2, and then have a think about applying that into your answer today. So which password is the strongest? Give it a tick, and then once you've chosen the password, write down in the box why you think that in a full sentence. So again, I'd like you to hit pause, and then once you're ready, just hit play, and then we'll carry on and discuss our answers. Can't wait to see what you come up with. I wonder which password you chose. I decided to go for the third one, Thunderbirds 2021. The first one is my name, which makes it really easy to guess. The second one is also my name, but it does have some numbers to make it a bit harder to guess, to make it a bit more secure. But the problem with that is that it's a really easy number to guess. Now, one of my favourite programs is Thunderbirds, and not a lot of people know that. So that's why I've chosen that password, because hardly anybody that knows me would be able to guess that, let alone a stranger. And what I've done in the box is I've written why I've chose that password as the most secure one. I chose this because not many people know that I like Thunderbirds. So that's going to make it really hard to guess. You might also notice as well that there's an exclamation mark at the end of my password. Now that's what we call a symbol, and adding a symbol makes the password even harder to guess. So that makes it even more secure. The other two passwords don't have any symbols, so they're not as secure, they're not as strong, they're a bit easier to guess. So you can just notice there, I've just written in my explanation box, I chose this because not many people know that Mr. O'Malley likes Thunderbirds. The others have his name. So when we're doing a strong password, we always avoid using information like our name or our birthday, because it makes it really easy to guess. That brings us to question 4. Write 3 good rules for keeping your information safe and private online. So I'd like you to take a look at this video, which I'm going to show you, and these are going to give you some top tips which you might be able to use for your answer.
Do you like going online? There's lots of fun things to do, but it is important to remember some simple rules that will help you and your friends stay safe. First of all, keep personal information safe, and remember that people online are strangers. Here's Polly playing a game. A person she meets wants to know her name. What do you think she should do? Remember, people online are strangers and they may not be who they say they are. Don't share photos with them, or let them know things like your real name, your birthday, the name of your school, or where you live. And never ever meet up with someone you've met online. Make sure that you only talk with friends you know in real life. Another thing to remember is to ask before you share photos of others. Sal takes a photo of Ash. She wants to share it with their friends. They all think it's funny. But what's that? Somebody else can see it too. The photo starts to pop up everywhere, and Sal just can't take it back. How do you think Ash feels? It is also important to always be kind to others. Some people think it is okay to be bullies when they can hide behind the screen. But talking and playing with others online is just the same as in the playground. You should always be kind and respectful to each other. And finally, always ask an adult. Ask an adult to go online with you. They can help you find the things that are right for you. If something happens that makes you feel funny or upset, or if something goes wrong with your computer, always tell an adult and they can make it better.
Some really useful information there that we could use to answer question 4. Write 3 good rules for keeping your information safe and private online. So when you're ready, hit pause, write down 3 things that people could do to keep their information safe and private when they're using the internet. And once you've written them down, hit play and we'll have a talk about our answers and what we came up with. Okay, so my first rule was never share any personal details or information. Things like your real name, your birthday, your address, the name of your school, or your age. Things that people could use to find out who you are and where you might live. So it's really important that personal information like that we don't share online. We keep that to ourselves. Obviously, you can tell someone in your class the name of your school because you go to the same school. You might want to give your address to the school office if they need to write to you because they're trusted adults, but we certainly don't give our address, our school name, or our real name to people that we don't know. It's really important to keep that information safe and private. Now, my second rule, I was thinking about our photos and pictures. And it's not just photos and pictures, but other information as well. But we certainly shouldn't be sharing any pictures or photos of ourselves or our friends online. Now, it's really important we don't do that because some people don't like to have their pictures put on the internet. And even if they do, it's very easy for anyone on the internet to find that picture. And once it's on there, it's very hard to take it down. And it's very hard to take it back. So it's really important that you don't share pictures or photos of yourselves or your friends online. We need to keep those private. Sometimes in school we might ask you to share it on something like Seesaw as part of our computing lesson or our outdoor learning, but that's because you're working with a trusted adult and it's in school. If you're working in school and an adult has asked you to, sometimes it's okay to share photos on something secure like Seesaw, but we certainly shouldn't be sharing our own pictures or pictures of other people online outside of school. Then I had to think about my third rule, and I thought, what's a really good rule in case we ever get confused or stuck? Who could we ask if we're ever not sure about who to ask about a certain question, or if we're not sure what information is safe and what is unsafe? So I think a really good third rule is to ask a trusted adult if you're ever confused or not sure what to share. If you're ever sharing any information online, it's really important to ask a trusted adult like your teacher or your mum or your dad before you share it, just to make sure that it's safe and that we can keep you safe and protected too. So that was my third rule. So we have 3 really good rules, and I can't wait to see the rules that you came up with too. So now it's time to move on to question 5. Why was Ash upset in the video? And what should Sal have done instead? So think about Ash in the video after he fell off his skateboard and why he was upset. And what do you think Sal should have done instead? Pause the video and hit play when you're ready. Now you might remember that Sal took a picture of Ash after he fell off his skateboard. And Ash was really upset, not just because she had taken the picture, which she probably shouldn't have done in the first place, but she also shared it onto the internet. Not just to his mum or his dad, but to everybody. Anyone on the internet, even strangers, would be able to see Ash. And Ash was really upset with that, because that's really unsafe. And it's not fair for everyone on the internet to be able to see him. So instead, Sal shouldn't have shared the photo at all. And to be honest, she probably shouldn't have taken the photo in the first place. Now, sometimes people might share photos of other people, but only when they have other people's permission. But really, as Ash and Sal are very young and are still children, then they shouldn't have been sharing those photos at all. Not without an adult's permission, because I didn't see any adults in the video with them. So it's really important that when we're taking photos, that we make sure we ask someone's permission before we share it, even when we're using Seesaw. So when you're doing your outdoor learning and you take someone's picture, it's really important to ask their permission before you share it, even though it's with a trusted adult. It's just a kind and friendly thing to do. I can't wait to see the answers that you came up with for those questions too. So that brings us to the end of our computing lesson today, Year 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed watching those videos. It gave me a lot to think about. So looking back at our steps to success and our learning intention, hopefully you will have met a lot of those through today's learning. And I can't wait to see all of the ideas you came up with. If you need something extra to do, perhaps you could create your own poster about how to keep our information safe and private and some top tips for coming up with some strong passwords. So let's have a look at our steps to success. Have we met these today? Well, I certainly think we can explain what passwords are, and we hopefully be able to use passwords for your own accounts and devices at home. I know you certainly do that in school. You can describe how online information could be seen by others. We looked at that with Ash and Sal. And we can also describe and explain some rules for keeping our information private. So you came up with 3 really good rules on how to keep our information safe, which will keep us safe as well. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson year 2. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you got a lot from the lesson. I'll be able to use that with your computing. I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye.